Hello, and welcome back to the Cricket and the King YouTube channel. I'm Ben, and today we are going to be talking about social skills. And they are called social skills, not social haves, because being social and engaging with people is a skill that we can develop. It's important to note that it's a skill because there's kind of a lie that we believe sometimes about ourselves, and that lie has to do with introversion or extroversion, or our ability to be with people and hang out and have a good time, or our desire to be alone and spend time by ourselves and introspect, right? That's kind of the difference, right? So we think that people are born with social skills and that you're just capped at this ability to engage with people and that you can't improve or get better at this ability. But we call them social skills, which means it's a skill. And like any other skill, being social can be developed. Now, why are we talking about this? Well, in today's society, we have become increasingly isolated, meaning we've put ourselves in places online and in our personal lives where we engage with others or talk with them less and less and less. And that's not super helpful, right? We are social creatures. Human beings love to be in relationships and talk to people and have meaning and value and derive a lot of joy from being in relationship with people, right? But if we don't have social skills, we'll find it harder and harder to engage with people, and then we'll withdraw from people, right? Which will make us more awkward and less able to engage, which again, when we try to engage, might make us more awkward, which will give us anxiety about the next time we have to engage with people, and it's this massive spiral into doom, and before you know it, you're alone, and you don't even want to talk to the person at the drive-thru, right? They say, "Have a nice day," and you just kind of freeze up because you can't even reply, right? These are not helpful things in our society currently, right? But like I said, it's a skill. So what can we compare it to in the world of skills? I compare it to playing an instrument, okay? So I'm a musical person. I love music. Music is fantastic, right? But I don't know if you guys have ever heard someone learn how to play the violin, but violins are just, it can be beautiful, but it is a brutal sound when somebody starts playing the violin, okay? It sounds like a terrifying dying Nazgul or a bird being tortured to death. It's just really rough, right? But if you practice, right, you practice your theory and your music and where to put your fingers and how to use the bow appropriately, then suddenly you're playing beautiful music, right? You're playing concertos, you're blowing the world's mind with your musical ability. And being social is very similar to that, right? We are able to practice being social and engage those skills. So why is it important to be social? Okay, this is not super fleshed out in that there are dark paths we could go through with sociality. So I know a lot of people that are social and develop their skills only to manipulate others. I don't think this is a good use of social skills. I know other people that are social because they're trying to expand their network, right? Or it's like Game of Thrones where they're trying to like acquire power and use their verbose ability and the way they engage people to get them to do what they want or manipulate others. And we don't want to use our skills like that. But having social skills is really important because, like I said, people are relational. So I'm going to draw a bunch of dots that are going to represent a bunch of people, right? And this is the central dot. This is you. You. Okay? And this is Billy, Joe, Jane, Harry, Neil. I don't know. Whoever it is. So these are the relationships that you have in your life, right? And right now, you're lacking connection. You're not engaging with these people. And engagement with people gives us opportunities. So if you talk to this person, you're not just engaging with that person, you're also engaging with the other relationships, potentially, boop, 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 that this person has, right? And the more that we're willing to be social and engage with people around us, boop, 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 the more we get access to these connections and these relationships, which brings opportunities for us. And I know this does sound a lot like networking, but I want us to go about this in a legitimate, open, and honest way, okay? I don't want to promote this so that you're like, oh, if I just know more people, then I can get more of what I want. And although to some degree, you know, if you want to get a job and you know people that have access to jobs, you can get the job, you don't want to go about engaging people in a disingenuous way, Okay? So again, social skills, not social haves. So how do we build our social skills? This is the most important thing, and this is probably the scary part, especially if you have social anxiety or you feel like you can't talk to people, you get really nervous, is you have to talk to people. And with any skill, you're going to fail many times. Unfortunately, that's probably not what you want to hear, but it's the truth, right? Whenever we're practicing getting good at something like talking to people, we're going to have failures. We're going to have awkward, stumbling moments, or we're going to say something that's out of place, or we're not going to quite know how to read the room, right? So you have to be willing to engage with people. But some fun things to think about that will allow us to get out of our little socially isolated box and actually engage the world around us is to remember that when you're dead, or in 3 generations from now, nobody's going to remember that one time you accidentally said you too to the person that said drive safe, and they weren't driving a car. Like those dumb situations where you feel social awkwardness and you feel like the world is ending and it's so bad. That person, although they might think it was funny in the moment, or it might have been an awkward thing that comes up once or twice when they talk to their friends, it's not going to be as detrimental as you never engaging with anyone socially again. You need to be willing to take the risk, to take the rejection, you will, if you will, of social interaction, and practice and put yourself out there. Because if you don't, you're gonna miss opportunities in your life. Okay, so we need to work on our social skills. We need to be willing to talk to others so that we have access to opportunities. And opportunity, like I said, it comes through relationship. But our relationships only develop if we actually engage with people. And another thing that's really important is it doesn't count if you're just engaging with people online, right? Because online, there's a certain anonymity or barrier between us and the people that we're engaging with. And this can create distance or a kind of safety net where you feel like you're able to engage without the consequences of a failed social interaction. And although I understand the position, I don't think that that's a healthy way to actually build relationships that are meaningful in the world, right? We actually have to go out and do the thing. So where do you socialize? I mean, the easiest thing you could possibly do is socialize with the people that you come across in the things that you have to do, right? Let's say you're at the store, or let's say you're ordering fast food, or let's say your grandparents come over. You can actually make an effort rather than going away and hiding in your room, or finding some reason to avoid people, to actually get out and socialize and ask them questions. One of the things I like to tell people when I'm teaching them how to engage in an appropriate and healthy way, and they feel like, well, I don't have a lot to say. I don't have anything interesting to talk about. Well, that's a great thing when you're socializing, because people love to talk about themselves, but you don't have to be one of those people. You don't have to just talk about yourself. You can ask people about themselves, and this will actually give them the opportunity to fill the space socially, to engage the conversation, and to give clarity as to the direction that they want to head in the conversation, right? So you could say to someone like, oh, tell me about your work, and they'll probably go off on a long tangent. Now, when you get two socially awkward people together, this doesn't necessarily work as well. So just be prepared if you're trying to improve social skills and you run into somebody that's socially awkward. That's not necessarily a bad reflection on you. It just means that this person is a little awkward. And a lot of things we can do to ease people's discomfort when they are awkward is just put no pressure on them to do anything, right? Silence is fine. Silence is okay. You can live with a little bit of silence, right? But we want to actually be engaging our skill. We want to be utilizing it, and we want to be growing as we try to build relationships with other people, right? We don't want to let our anxiety prevent us from being in relationship and accomplishing things with other people, because everything that we want to do in life requires relationship. So if you want to be an engineer, you can't just be an engineer and develop something amazing by yourself, right? You have to collaborate with other people that are skilled in areas that you're not. You have to be able to talk to suppliers. You have to be able to uh, engage in learning material, right? Like if you're in school for it, you have to engage with the professor. All of these things require us to socialize. And the better that we're able to do that, the more we're able to engage the world and the more opportunities are going to come our way. So if you are a person that's super nervous and you're locked in your house and you are not willing to go out and talk to people, I just want to encourage you that first, nobody's going to remember if they have an awkward conversation with you. Second, you are going to fail. Just go in with that expectation that you're going to get in awkward interactions and it's going to be a little bit rough at first. And then thirdly, know that you're giving yourself opportunities when you're choosing to actually engage with people and really expand your horizons socially and talk to people. Just go do things. Like I said in a couple videos before, and I say all the time, the people that do things do things. So if you want to build social skills, you just have to go talk to people. That's the important thing. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back with more general life lessons and other shenanigans in the future. Have a great one. See you on the next one. Bye.